Well, hello, everybody. This is Steph The Educator, and this is Essential Pedagogy Podcast, and I'm here back for another show. I'm so excited to be here for so many reasons. I don't have a guest today, but I want to just give you guys a recap about what my name of the podcast means and why I'm doing this. Essential Pedagogy came about in my mind over the pandemic when we talked about essential type jobs, essential professions like nurses and things like that. And I was very shocked and surprised that people would consider teachers essential. So I came up with the idea that I should come up with a podcast, Essential Educator. However, that name was already taken and trademarked and everything like that. So I decided pedagogy. And pedagogy is the study of teaching and teaching practices and all that it entails. And my hope is that as the result of listening to this podcast, people within and outside of the profession grow more compassion for one another by getting an inside view of a complex structure of the American education system. Um, just wanted to talk to you guys today about education and finances. I want to do a series about this. I have a couple of people lined up, just didn't pan out to be here today, but I got plenty to say about education and finances. So let's just talk about. I'm out of town today. I'm so excited. Um, I have gone back to my alma mater, Langston University. L's up, and I'm excited. I've never been so excited to give my money away, but I'm very excited to attend our scholarship gala, and this is my first time going. I'm so very excited, and this is really my first time able to give back in the way I'm giving back, and I'm so excited about it, y'all. I can't tell you how much school has given to my life, has enriched my life. I'll just give you a little bit of background story about me. I was born to an immigrant mom from Jamaica. She's from Kingston, Jamaica. And my father was from New York. And I was born in the Bronx. My mother and father did not stay together. And so my mother struggled as an uneducated woman. She did get a trade. She went to Job Corps in Oklahoma, and thus um, me growing up in Oklahoma. I grew up in Oklahoma, Oklahoma City, and went to Douglas High School. Hey, graduate Douglas High School Trojans. And then I went to Langston University. And my life was changed. My children's life was changed. The trajectory of their lives and the people around me has changed because my mother was very adamant that I would go to college. Didn't know what I was going to do, did not know anything about majors. I went because of her word from when I was a little bitty girl saying to go to school. So that is where my passion for education and learning comes from. I finished in 4 years flat, and was able to get my bachelor's, and I kind of stumbled with different career paths. I was in technology sales before I transitioned to education, and I've been in education for about 20 years. Oh, I see a question. What current trends are are struggling with when it comes to students. Oh my gosh. I'll talk about that a little later in the show. But I just wanted to talk about a little bit about finances. Let's talk about that. Um, the the rules aren't the same everywhere in the United States. So in Texas, we're not able to, when we retire, we're not able to pull from Social Security. We have a private teacher retirement system. It's called TRS that we can pull from. It used to be that teachers could pull from Social Security and TRS. They changed the rules on that. And so now TRS is our sole retirement unless you are diligent and do things on your own, and that's very hard if you're a single teacher. If you're married, then it's very, very doable. It's doable if you're single, but you got to put your mind to being on a budget and living under your means. And I do mean under. I do mean under. Not only do we not have are not able to pull from Social Security when we retire, we get paid once a month, and that is an adjustment that most people don't understand. Some people who work in government agencies, they understand it because a lot of times they get paid once a month. But I was just talking to a friend of mine, and he said, I've been paid every week for the last 15 years. I've been in insurance and car adjustments and things like that. So I've been paid every week. I wouldn't know how to act. Well, I'll tell you one thing. Teachers act very careful. When you get paid once a month, uh, you have to be very, very diligent in paying your essentials first and then taking care of other things later. Um, so I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about personal finances. Um, eh, in my personal finances with my children, when I was in the heart of separation and divorce with my husband, my ex-husband, Lord Jesus, he's an ex-husband. Thank you, Lord. I had a hard time. Like it was a struggle just to get snacks for the kids, for my children. It was tough just to make sure that we had the things that we needed, not just the things that we wanted, but the things that we needed. I, you know, outside of shoes for church, I wore their hand me downs because they're bigger than I am. So I wore their hand me down sneakers. I still um, have slides and things like that from when my children were children. Um, you just have to manage things differently. Now, I'm not going to say all educators manage their money responsibly, because I do know uh, some educators who had payday loan issues, because humans are humans, people are people. But the majority of people in our profession behave differently because our life is different. So I will say that our life is different. So majority of us, we have to behave different, and we learn to be responsible because our profession um, requires us to be responsible human beings. We take an oath to report abuse. If we see abuse, we can't know about something without reporting it. Just like doctors can't just stand by and let someone suffer in health. If they know something, they have to do something. So we're the same way. But that's one reason why we tend to act a little bit more responsible with money. It's not across the board because people are people, like I said. But if you were to read a lot of financial books, I think it's Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and they talked about different professions that tend to be able to build wealth more than other professions. Our lifestyles are simple. We don't have to drive a fancy car to impress clients. We don't have to dress fancy for work, although I do dress professional and I spend a little bit more money on clothing than a lot of other teachers. Um, I feel like that if I dress a little bit more professional, that people would treat me a little bit more professionally. What plans do you have coming to assist teachers financially? Oh, well, I haven't gotten specific plans to help teachers other than my part-time business with tutoring. I have tutors that are teachers that are certified that work for my company that I pay them more than the average tutoring service for their services because I have a high respect for teachers and I trust teachers, certified teachers, to handle children. Um, there's just some things that I feel like are too important to just give to people who do not have the experience, do not have the training to handle children. So that's what. But I am personally here in Oklahoma today, and I live in Texas, but I'm here in Oklahoma to give back to a scholarship fund to my university, Langston University, LU. Um, I'm so excited. Not only have I bought a ticket to this gala and I'm going to be all dressed up and I'm excited about that, but I'm real excited to write a check in the name of my company to give back to my school, the school that helped change my life. Um, I cannot tell you how much it means to me that God would have chosen me to bless this way. I'm um, I'm just overjoyed. I'm grateful. I was just thanking God on the plane about the opportunity because I, I don't know where my life would be. My mother was 35 when she passed away. I was 16. I could have been on the streets for real, for real. Um, I could have chosen a different path, but God saw it fit to bless me with the mindset of finishing what my mother would want me to finish, and to do um, to walk out the kind of life that she would want me to walk out. So I'm just happy, and I can't tell you how much thought I put to how education has affected my life, like in so many ways. Guys, when I think about the pandemic, when I think about some of the disparities in the United States, I've read a book over the pandemic called Cast. It's an Oprah favorite book. And I feel like it's a book that's going to be an heirloom in my family. It's by Isabel Wilkerson, and it talks about the uh, the caste system, CASTE, in America, in in comparison to Germany and the Nazi Germany era and the Indian caste system in India, and wanted and it changed my life about thinking about privileged people. It talked about um, it made me think about how people with privilege have the time to do different things, leisure things. They have the space to think through problems and problem solve. Okay, can you talk about turnover rate regarding student dropouts? Oh, do you see an increase or decrease? Whew, okay, that's a good question. Um, wow. So, okay, dropout rates. Well, in Texas, I feel like the graduation rate is not as great in some in Texas as it is in other parts of the country, but it's not the worst. I'll tell you that. It's not the worst. Although I do see a little bit of an increase of not being able to grab hold of students' interest in school like we used to. Um, and I hate to blame the internet because the internet is such a great resource. It has made a world of difference in connecting people, in creating space for people to be heard that you probably never would hear from ever in your lifetime. But at the same time, I believe it gives our children a misconception about career paths. Um, Being some type of sensational star is very, very much a enticing and glamorous. It's like back in the day, we wanted to be movie stars or pop singers or R&B soul singers or rock stars. Now it's I want to be an influencer. I just want to make a lot of money. I want to make videos and people see me and then I make money that way. And I think it's giving young people an unrealistic mindset about life, about life. Um, Although I feel like there's a space for people to be influenced, I also feel like that we need to make space for people who are right in front of us. And sometimes we need to shut off the world. And it's not probably a popular viewpoint, but to shut off the world and really focus on what's in front of us. I feel like our depression rate is up, so then that goes towards dropouts and things like that. But I feel like there's a lot of depression because people are just belly gazing, and a lot of people don't know. Okay, belly gazing, I just found that out a couple of years ago. I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago. Belly gazing is just looking down at your situation, kind of at your belly, and just having a downtrodden outlook on life and just thinking about you and your life and how it sucks or not going well. More questions. Okay, hold on. But I feel like if we focus on, I focus on God. If we focus on God, we focus on others outside of ourselves, and not in an unhealthy way, but a very healthy way of concerning and being concerned about other people's well-being, then we can work together. Do you think students' loan debt play a factor? Kids are wanting to create debt. They rather make a quick fast money. Oh my, yeah. Um, so yeah, I think that's a factor in the dropout rate. Unfortunately. Oh, okay. So, oh my gosh. So my niece, I was just on the phone with my niece. She turned 19. And she doesn't want to create debt. I think a lot of kids don't want to create debt. I think the uh, that's part of the fallout of low enrollment in learning institutions that are higher learning for college and universities, because kids feel like they can just make a quick buck with the internet. Excuse me. Um, the internet through whether it's having 10, 15, oh, that's over, I'm overstating, 3 jobs, delivering groceries, delivering pizzas, delivering Amazon, delivering um, Uber Eats, things like that. There are a million trillion hustles out there. And a lot of people are figuring out how to make these hustles work. I mean, let me tell you, the rental car business is suffering because people are renting out their cars to other people. There's so many things that the internet has opened up that people are like, I'm not wasting my time doing this. I'm not wasting my time on education. I'm not wasting my time um, on whatever anybody else had to say. Part of it is because things move so fast and people can get a quick buck. I mean, I did Instacart. I did Instacart part time when I was at last probably 4 years, right before the pandemic. I was doing Instacart. I even drove. I did not Uber. What is the other one? You know the other one. Or so I drove that. I can't even think of the name. Uh, so yeah, I actually drove around, picked up a former student from the city jail. Now, wasn't it embarrassing that I picked up a kid? I have a degree. I'm working at a profession, and I'm driving. It's not called Uber. Let me see what the app is on my phone. Lord Jesus, let me find out. Y'all know it. Please tell me. It is not Uber. I can't even find the app. Anyway, um, but I used to drive that in the little rental car system that they had. It's a lot of quick money. Lyft, yeah. Lyft. Okay, so Lyft, I drove Lyft for a good minute. It was fun, it was really, really fun. You just have to be strategic. You learn how to be strategic and being in the right place at the right time. Um, Men tip better than women. Sorry, women, but men tip better than women. I don't know if we just have a lot more things to take care of it as women, because we have a lot of things to think about: our lashes, our lipstick, our heels, a lot of things. But I've done a lot of jobs. I even worked at Coach for 7 years. Y'all, teaching do not this profession does not pay enough. And I did this to make ends meet, because I was not wearing lashes when I was doing Lyft. I was not getting my nails done when I was doing Coach. I was not doing all this extra when I worked for Coach for 7 years while I was teaching. When I was doing Instacart while I was teaching. I have a degree. I have to be certified. I have to take a test. We have to do continuing education hours. We have a mountain of paperwork that piles up daily, and we have to manage that. By the way, I'm not doing a great job managing all my paperwork. And it will make me feel like I am not doing well at my job. But I know I am. Paperwork be damned. I am doing well at my job because I am impacting people positively. And I'm going to say it. I pray every day that the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart impact children positively, so that they can be inspired to view education as important. And it's not because you can make money, but it can change your mindset about things. I am so grateful because it has changed my mindset about how I eat, how I live my life, how I spend money, how I interact with people, how I view myself in this world, in my space, outside of my circles. Education has changed my life, and I can't say it enough. I can't say I want to quit every day, but I'm telling you that it has impacted me positively to make me get up in the morning and do what I do every day. What would you do if all teachers walked out? Sad thought, but yeah. Um, Sometimes drastic things have to happen in order for drastic changes to be made. Will that happen? Don't think it will, but um, it may be needed in some places. Parents struggling trying to teach their kids from home when the pandemic hit. Yeah, parents did struggle. That was one of the things that inspired me to go back to teaching. I stepped away from teaching for 18 months. I was tired of it. Not the act of teaching, not pedagogy. I was tired of spinning my wheels trying to please parents and administrators and people who would define my job as one thing, but I got feedback that my job was another. And I also know that in order to build competent people in society, that these people have to be challenged uh, in thinking. And sometimes being challenged in thinking is uncomfortable. A lot of times it's uncomfortable. Um, and so a lot of now society is in a situation where people don't want to feel uncomfortable. They do not, they want to be happy. Um, they feel like nothing else matters but what they are going through. And I feel like that is a little bit why depression has run rampant. Um, and I feel like that's not going to change drastically um, unless we change our mindset and what we do um, in uh, with our children. We have to. Teaching is hard. Teaching's hard. Let me tell you something. I had to. I had to plan for 2 grade levels before I left on my flight. So my flight was at 3 o'clock. You're supposed to be at the airport 2 hours before. I took a half day today. It's a Thursday. I took a half day today. And I teach 7th grade science. I teach 6th grade science. I teach an advisory class. So all of those classes I had to write detailed plans about those classes before I left for today's half day and tomorrow. So what made that challenging is 6th grade is studying something totally different and doing different things than 7th grade. Um, in order for me, I feel like to live a full life, I have to prioritize what's important to me personally first. And in doing that, I try to build a boundary around my life so that I do not purposely or accidentally feel resentment on my profession, because it can enroll to all day, every day. So the last 2 days, I've been working on detailed plans, seating chart. I had to rearrange a seating chart so that behaviors would be in line a little bit differently. And since I know the little personalities a little better, after about 10 weeks, 13, 12 weeks, I changed my seating chart. I have my 6th graders in groups working on a project. My 7th graders just finished a test. So we're starting a new unit. It's hard to plan with a substitute. Yes, work life and personal life balance is a must. And I found that out kind of late. But look, I'm doing it, sister, now. Uh, but I had to plan details, where people sit, what to do when they get in the door, what how you should get the papers out to them, get the supplies out to them. I had to set out easels for my 6th graders because they're in this ADI project where they have to defend their inquiries and their thought process in a scientific way. It's a certain process to do that, and it's a STEM thing. And seventh grade's doing something totally different, and so I had to plan for that. Details, y'all, details, down to nurse passes, down to emergency. Where can you find the emergency folder if there's a fire drill or if there's a real fire? So much that I was still writing on sticky notes when I left today. Oh, by the way, you need to do this. Oh, by the way, you need to do that. It makes you think about how much we do and don't think about as an educator. So I feel like not only are we undervalued financially and literally, we're in a situation where we undervalue ourselves. And we're undervaluing ourselves because we listen to people gaslight us up about how we're valued, but at the same time, we don't do enough. And if teachers and kind of half backhanded talk about us not doing enough, giving us guilt trips about us not doing enough. And we feel like we're not doing enough if we happen to not do paperwork in a timely manner or everything, all of our responsibilities just perfect. But I'm here to say, we are not failures. Every day I have to tell myself that I am doing good works because I'm doing this for the right reason and I'm doing the best I can. And am I doing everything perfect? Nope, I don't. I never said in my interview that I'm the master of lesson planning and getting the lesson plan on the digital document with all the details that you want in that document in a timely manner. I have the plans, but is it always in the way you want it when you on the digital paperwork that you want all the time? Do I have do I document every tardy restroom pass? Because now that is a discipline thing that a teacher personally have to keep up with, which I feel like is weird because I feel like we could, if we put it in a system as tardy, then something else could keep up with that and we don't have to. That we have to issue a detention if they get tardies. Like, I don't want to have to manage that. I have enough on my plate to teach and inspire people to learn. It's too much. You're right. It's too much. But when I feel overwhelmed and when I feel like it's too much, I have to remind myself that I'm human and I'm doing good works. And that's what I'm here for. So I will continue to do this and give people a viewpoint over education and an inside view of education so that we can build compassion on both sides so we can help change this world for the better. So I see that it could go down a slippery slope, and I don't want that to happen. And I hope that this inspires you to kind of look at things differently. And hopefully I can get somebody on here to talk more. Really, can somebody tell one of my friends who's an administrator to come on the show? Because she is a mastermind on finances. And I want to make this a series. So I really want to talk about earmarking funds and how funds is given to public schools and things like that. I really want to talk about that. But I think we're out of time, guys. I cannot believe it. Look, I didn't think I was going to be able to hold this show down by myself, but people say I talk a lot. So I guess I do. Until the next time, guys, this is Essential Pedagogy. Steph.